This is Neymar, one of the most expensive footballers in history, now living under a $300 million contract in Saudi Arabia. But this isn't just a transfer, it's a global power move, disguised as a football deal. This is the story of how one athlete became a centerpiece in Saudi Arabia's global image strategy. In 2023, Neymar made headlines not just for switching clubs, but for signing one of the most staggering contracts in modern football. He left Paris Saint-Germain, where he was already pulling in massive wages, and joined Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. The numbers were unreal, around $300 million over 2 years, factoring in endorsements, bonuses, and perks. It wasn't just a salary, it was a statement. This deal instantly put him among the highest paid athletes on the planet. But what made it even more jaw-dropping were the lifestyle details woven into the agreement. There were reports of a private jet at his disposal, a sprawling mansion with full-time staff, and luxury cars brought in just for him. Al Hilal didn't just want a player, they wanted a spectacle. And Neymar delivered that before he even set foot on the pitch. At PSG, he had been part of a high-profile trio alongside Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe, but in Saudi Arabia, he became the undisputed star. That kind of spotlight brings a different kind of attention. It's not just about football anymore, it's about image, influence, and what your name can do for a league that's still trying to gain credibility on the world stage. For Neymar, the timing made sense. Injuries had started to chip away at his form, and the European spotlight was growing more critical. A move to Saudi Arabia gave him control again, on the field, in the media, and financially. He could be the face of a growing sports movement without having to chase trophies every week or answer to the same old press scrutiny. It's the kind of deal that only a few players in the world could command, and even fewer would say yes to. But Neymar has always played on his own terms. Flashy, unpredictable, and rarely subtle. The move to Al Hilal fits that pattern completely. But the paycheck is only part of the story. In Saudi Arabia, Neymar's lifestyle has reached a whole new level, both on and off the pitch. When Neymar signed with Al Hilal in 2023, the club didn't just offer him a massive salary, they essentially built a lifestyle around him. According to multiple reports, part of the deal included a fully serviced mansion in Riyadh. It's not a modest home either. We're talking full-time staff, including private chefs, a fleet of personal assistants, and round-the-clock scrutiny. The goal wasn't just to accommodate him, but to make sure he never had to lift a finger unless it was for the ball. A private jet was also made available at his discretion. That means whenever Neymar wants to fly home to Brazil or travel to Europe for personal or brand-related obligations, there's no need to book anything, he just boards. This level of access isn't unique to Neymar. Cristiano Ronaldo, who signed with Al Nassr months earlier, received a similarly tailored arrangement that included a home, jet, and commercial rights to his image. The pattern is clear. Saudi clubs aren't just recruiting players, they are recruiting icons, and they're doing it with total lifestyle packages. Luxury cars are another part of Neymar's new world. While he's long been known for his love of fast and rare cars, including a Ferrari 458 Spider and an Audi R8, Saudi-based reports suggest he was given access to multiple high-end vehicles for his personal use while in the kingdom. There is also a rumored allowance for shopping and entertainment meant to keep him comfortable during his stay and support the image of Riyadh as an international luxury hub. None of this is random. It's part of Saudi Arabia's larger plan to attract global attention, not just through football, but through culture and celebrity. Neymar's presence isn't just about goals and assists, his lifestyle is part of the marketing. Every photo he posts, every event he attends, adds to the country's campaign to reshape how the world sees it. It's clear Neymar is being paid to play, but he's also being paid to live a certain kind of life. And that life isn't just for show, it's part of a bigger plan. Neymar's move to Al Hilal wasn't just football, it was a carefully placed piece in a much bigger picture. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. This long-term initiative is designed to shift the country's global image away from oil dependence and into areas like tourism, entertainment, and sport. Signing Neymar along with stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and Sadio Mane is part of that strategy. The aim isn't just to win matches, it's to draw attention, build legitimacy, and change how the world sees Saudi Arabia. And Neymar brings more than talent. His Instagram account alone has over 200 million followers, which puts him in a rare class of global influencers. Every time he posts from Riyadh or shares clips from the Saudi Pro League, that content gets pushed to millions of screens around the world. It's not subtle, and it's not accidental. That kind of reach is something no traditional ad campaign could buy. And in this setup, Neymar isn't just a player, he's a brand ambassador on a national scale. Saudi Arabia is using global sport the way countries used to use the Olympics or World Cups, as a tool to rebrand, attract investment, and reshape narratives. And Neymar, with his fame, charisma, and media presence, is right at the center of it. There's a calculated feel to the whole project. The clubs aren't operating like traditional football organizations, they are backed by Saudi's Public Investment Fund, which has billions at its disposal. This isn't about club profitability or TV rights alone, it's about soft power. Neymar's face is now part of that play, and that alone shows how far his reach goes beyond the game. He's not the first or only player to be part of this shift, but his role carries a certain weight because of who he is. Not just an athlete, but a lifestyle figure. When he signed with Al Hilal, it wasn't just a football contract, it was a signal. And while Saudi Arabia benefits from his name, Neymar is also building something personal, his own empire. Neymar isn't just a footballer, he's a business built around one name. That name, his full image, licensing rights, and endorsements is managed by NR Sports, a company created by his father, Neymar Sr., to handle everything off the pitch. While most athletes have agents or a management team, Neymar essentially runs a full-scale brand operation with its own corporate structure. NR Sports doesn't just sign off on sponsorships, it controls how, where, and when Neymar appears in campaigns, media, or even interviews. Over the years, Neymar has partnered with some of the biggest global companies in a way that feels more like a portfolio than a series of one-off deals. His long-standing partnership with Red Bull has led to branded events like the Red Bull Neymar Jr.'s 5 tournament, an annual global street football competition that carries his name and helps extend his influence far beyond professional stadiums. In 2020, after ending his relationship with Nike, Neymar signed with Puma, marking one of the biggest athlete endorsement switches in recent memory. Puma didn't just give him a boot deal, they made him the face of their entire soccer campaign, tapping into his massive social media presence to reach a younger global audience. He's also made moves into media and fashion. In 2021, Netflix released Neymar, The Perfect Chaos, a docuseries that gave viewers a peek into his career, controversies, and branding machine. Around the same time, he was featured in campaigns for Replay, an Italian fashion brand that used his image to tap into streetwear markets. These weren't just passive endorsement gigs, Neymar was central to how the products were promoted and positioned. Away from sports and fashion, Neymar is also reported to have invested in esports, showing interest in streaming, gaming, and online competitions, which makes sense considering his large following among Gen Z fans. It's not about retiring early, it's about building multiple income streams that live independently off his playing career. His brand may be global, but Neymar still knows how to enjoy the finer things right where he is. Neymar didn't arrive in Saudi Arabia quietly. Just weeks after joining Al Hilal, he reportedly flew a group of close friends to Riyadh for private celebrations. That move set the tone. This wasn't just a transfer, it was a lifestyle upgrade. Known for throwing elaborate parties in Brazil and Paris, Neymar brought that same energy with him. His circle didn't shrink when he moved, it just followed him, private jets and all. His day-to-day in Saudi isn't built around public appearances or heavy media interaction. Instead, it's more about curated privacy. invites-only gatherings, exclusive dinners, and quiet luxury tucked behind high walls. He's often seen surrounded by a core group that includes family, longtime friends, and personal staff. These are the people who have been with him through Barcelona, PSG, and now Al Hilal. They're not just company, they're a part of his rhythm, his routine. Of course, this version of Neymar isn't new. Even during his peak years in Europe, there were stories, some exaggerated, others not, about his parties, travel habits, and occasional brushes with team rules. From birthday blowouts at nightclubs to mid-season trips back to Brazil, he's never been a player who fits the mold of quiet discipline. And the media has always kept a close eye on it, often questioning his focus or commitment. But that's the part most fans already know about Neymar. What's interesting is how consistent it all is. The person off the field, the one who loves music, fast cars, and weekend gatherings, isn't separate from the athlete, it's the same guy. The Saudi deal just gave him more room to live that way without pushback from traditional European sports media. Still, it raises questions. Can someone live that big and still deliver on the pitch, especially as injuries and age start to creep in? For Neymar, the balance has always been tricky, but he's never really tried to hide who he is. Off the field, he lives big, but back on the field, Neymar's journey in Saudi Arabia has been anything but simple. Neymar's arrival in Saudi Arabia came with big expectations. He was supposed to bring flash, gold, and global attention to Al Hilal. But just weeks into his new chapter, the headlines shifted. In October 2023, during a World Cup qualifier between Brazil and Uruguay, Neymar tore his ACL and meniscus. It wasn't just a minor setback, the injury was serious enough to rule him out for the rest of the season. For a player already criticized for missing key matches due to fitness issues, this added another chapter to a long-running debate. Critics didn't hold back. Some questioned whether Al Hilal's enormous investment, reportedly upwards of $300 million when factoring in image rights, bonuses, and perks, was worth it. Neymar had played just a handful of games for the club before being sidelined. On social media, fans pointed out that this wasn't new. He had missed significant portions of seasons at Paris Saint-Germain as well, often at crucial moments like Champions League knockout rounds. The pattern of injury followed by long recovery has haunted his career since his Barcelona days. But the conversation isn't black and white. Despite the setbacks, Neymar remains one of the most marketable footballers in the world. His Instagram following alone is over 220 million, and his name still draws international attention. That visibility matters to Al Hilal and more broadly to Saudi Arabia's effort to reshape how the world views its sports industry. Even sidelined, Neymar is part of press releases, digital campaigns, and regional promotions. His role on the field is paused, but off the field, he's still a headline. That's the strange balance of being Neymar in 2024. There is undeniable talent and legacy, but also a cloud of what could have been that seems to follow him. Whether he comes back fully fit or not, the larger story is still unfolding. Injuries may slow him down, but his impact on Saudi football and his bank account is still moving fast. Neymar's move to Al Hilal was massive, but it dropped into a scene that had already been shaken up by Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival at Al Nassr. Ronaldo's deal, reported to be around $200 million a year, including commercial bonuses, was the first big swing Saudi Arabia took to show they were serious about turning the league into a global talking point. But Neymar's contract, worth around $300 million over 2 years, with endorsements and extras, put him right in the same tier, if not above, depending on how you measure value. Karim Benzema, who signed with Al Ittihad around the same time, reportedly got a package close to Ronaldo's. His contract was heavy on incentives and image rights, tailored to give him both cash and clout. But Benzema's profile is different. He's quieter, more reserved, and appeals to a slightly older crowd. Those who have followed his time at Real Madrid and appreciate his more clinical, no-frills approach to the game. Where Neymar stands out is in his cultural footprint. His fan base skews younger and more global. His presence on platforms like Instagram, where he has over 200 million followers, hits a different demographic than Ronaldo or Benzema. He's connected to lifestyle, fashion, music, gaming. He's not just a footballer, he's an online presence. That reach matters in Saudi Arabia's larger strategy, which isn't about selling tickets, it's about getting attention across every kind of screen. There's also a difference in how each star carries themselves in public. Ronaldo brings the ultra-professional, always-on energy. Benzema moves with more quiet confidence. Neymar, meanwhile, leans into being flashy, spontaneous, and sometimes unpredictable. It makes him divisive, but never boring, and that's a quality money can't always buy. When you stack the deals side by side, the numbers look similar. But the kind of influence each player brings is shaped by more than goals and assists. Neymar sells a feeling, excitement, unpredictability, and the sense that anything might happen next. That's the edge he brings to the Saudi stage. Still, whether it's influence or income, Neymar's lifestyle in Saudi Arabia is hard to match. As of 2024, Neymar is 32 years old. For most elite footballers, that's the stage where things start to shift. The legs are a little slower, the injuries take longer to heal, and the big clubs start looking toward younger talent. Neymar's career has already been longer and louder than most. Starting with his explosive rise at Santos, the world record move to Paris Saint-Germain, and now his high-paying contract in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal. But the question now is, what comes next? It's hard to picture Neymar grinding through another 5 seasons at the highest level, especially after the ACL injury in 2023. While he's made comebacks before, this time feels different. The conversation around him isn't just about recovery, it's about whether he needs to keep playing at all. With hundreds of millions already earned in brand deals like Puma, Red Bull, and his media ventures through NR Sports still active, he's in a rare position. He doesn't have to prove anything anymore, because some fans speculate about a move to Major League Soccer, following a similar route to Lionel Messi, who joined Inter Miami in 2023. The American market loves star power, and Neymar would draw crowds instantly. Others think he might return to Brazil, maybe to play for Santos again and close the loop where it all started, but there is also the possibility that he stays in Saudi Arabia, not for the football alone, but as a global ambassador, someone who helps shape the league's image even after stepping off the pitch. Whatever the path, Neymar has been preparing for life after football for years. He's got his brand, his businesses, his fan base, and a lifestyle that already operates like someone semi-retired. You don't buy into esports teams or release Netflix docuseries if your only focus is winning matches. That doesn't mean he's walking away tomorrow, but it does mean he's not planning to be just a player for much longer. Whether or not he plays another game, Neymar's lifestyle in Saudi Arabia tells its own story. So, if you were handed $300 million to live your dream life, how would you spend it? Neymar's answer is loud and clear, so you leave your thoughts in the comments.